3.5 hours south of the capital Tirana, a winding road leads down to a 300-meter beach of crystal blue waters and pebbly sand. Here on the edge of the Ionian Sea, visitors can rent a sunbed for €10, assuming they find parking along the dirt road and don't mind being a short distance from their neighbor. 10 years ago, the place was a hidden gem for locals who set up camp on the beach for free. Now, both sides of the road are lined with construction sites, and a major developer is promising to turn the once quiet village into a luxurious hideaway for the world's elite. Jala's sharp transition from a somewhat undiscovered natural paradise to a hot tourist destination is a microcosm of Albania's growing popularity and the accompanying social and environmental problems the country is facing. While much of the world was still in lockdown due to the COVID pandemic, Albania opened its doors to visitors in July 2020. Tourists eager to see something other than their home quickly answered the call, with over 5.6 million traveling to Albania in 2021, a 114% increase compared to 2020. But it wasn't just the open borders that drew people. Other European tourist destinations such as Italy, Spain, and Portugal were becoming increasingly expensive. Albania offered world-class nature and beaches at a much lower cost. In 2020, a night in a seaside hotel with breakfast in August could cost just €30, and sun lounges started at €3. While some travelers found their way to Tirana and its beaches through word of mouth, social media has lit up the sun with the idea of an Albanian vacation. By 2024, Albania had more than 3.8 million Instagram posts, with over 106 billion views, surpassing neighboring and long-established destinations like Italy and Greece. What had been a steady stream of visitors has turned into a flood. In 2023, a record 10 million tourists arrived, a 35% increase year-on-year, according to data from the National Institute of Statistics. In 2024, 11.7 million tourists visited the country, another record that represents a 15% increase according to Tourism Minister Mirella Kumbaro. This year, the government is hoping for more than 15 million, all in a country with a population of just 2.7 million. With visitors now generating around 8% of the country's gross domestic product and creating tens of thousands of jobs, one of the poorest countries in Europe cannot easily kick the tourism habit. Europeans make up the majority of visitors, with Germans, Italians, Poles, and French topping the list. Unlike other European destinations such as Italy or France, Albania is a smaller country where visitors can explore mountains and beaches in a single day. It also lives on in people's minds as wild and free and something you don't have in Europe, said Donata Gjushi, an Albanian journalist who has covered the country's rise as a tourist destination. Government officials seeking to turn Albania into a major tourist destination have exempted international hoteliers from corporate income tax for 10 years if they build 4- or 5-star hotels. The tax initiative was introduced in 2019 but was extended earlier this year until 2027. However, critics warn that the beaches lack sufficient space to accommodate the visitors such resorts would bring to the area, and that nature is being destroyed in the name of tourism. Already, the soon-to-open Vlora airport in the south of the country has sparked controversy over its proximity to a protected area. At the same time, the channeling of water from the interior of the country to coastal resorts to meet demand has angered activists and locals, sparking protests. Thrill seekers can still find less developed parts of Albania to explore, but the days of ultra-cheap travel to the country are largely over. Average spending per visitor rose 20% year-on-year in 2024, with tourists spending €5 billion that year. Experts and businesses argue that more demand means more pressure on supply chains and rising costs from importing goods. And as costs rise, locals who once frequented the beaches and nature are being driven away. But it's not just the higher prices that are making people worried. Waste is becoming a big, very big problem everywhere. None of the municipalities are able to keep up or recycle, said Arben Kola, a tour guide and environmentalist. Several Facebook groups dedicated to tourism in Albania feature posts from visitors complaining about the garbage along the roads or on the coast, along with complaints about construction and high prices. Albania used to be something wild, just camping, youth, fun, and nature, said Gjushi, the journalist. Now it's like Monaco. There's no place for locals.